Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Wish you a very happy and healthy start to this lovely little Friday morning over here from a very bright and even allergy-inducing Helsinki, Finland. As always, want to wish you well, want to wish you the best of the best. And with that said, you made it all the way to Friday, which means fucking nothing because Bitcoin looking actually rather eventful over this coming weekend. So with that said, it is preparation times and we have much to discuss today. But I should remind myself that I do want to keep this video a little bit more on the shorter side if I can. And then later on in the day, we'll do a live stream for the American morning. So with that in mind, let's put the focus now on the Krown Chain application. It can be found at app.krownchain.net. And what is going on right here? Actually, big development. We do see Bitcoin dominance continuing with the downtrend, which does imply that altcoins are having, well, essentially some variation of an alt season. Some people say that it's an alt season. Some people that say that it's not an alt season. I don't know, man. When I see some altcoins going 1,000+%, yeah, I think that you can put that in the alt season category right there. So we did identify that that was going to be a continuation drive a couple weeks ago. I believe that was maybe 2.5 weeks ago now, and we are seeing this come to fruition essentially. And until we do see some sort of a macro reversal, I imagine that altcoins going to be having a pretty damn good time versus their Bitcoin pairing. On top of that, we do see top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins over here. Doggy coin heading up to 100%. That's a 2x in the last 24 hours. Absolutely insane. Doggy coin going absolutely astronomical. What the fuck is this, man? Anyways, Horizon, Ethereum Classic, Maker, Neo, Chiliz, Qtum, Bcash, Bitcoin SV, and Decentraland. A lot of 2017 shitcoins in there going moon mode all across the board. I see 100%, 40%, 37%, 24%, 16.25%, and so on and so forth. On the other side, though, PundyX, no! Not getting wrecked! Bastards, those worst top 10 coins. Having a really bad day, actually, at least for PundyX and Was. What's Sir X over there, too, in Digi by another 2017 shitcoin. Damn, man, it's like a blast from the past today. Anyways, Fear and Greed Index still stuck at 78, still awesome within the 70s region. And let's go into, open interest. But let's actually check that in the market data tab over here and see what we got going on. Okay, very cool. We do see that open interest does still support price action. I still do like that. We still do see funding rates coming down across the board, which is really good, especially as Bitcoin kind of coalesces right above its prior breakout region, right above that $60,000 strike. And what does that imply? It does imply that this is still more or less fine as far as the higher term timeframes go. And I would still be first and foremost looking for continuation here. That's going to come with some major caveats when we actually get into the price action charts themselves. But for right now, this is looking good across the board as we do kind of peruse around this. Now, funnily enough, FTX, always the outlier, and certainly no different today, negative 0.014%. I imagine that's going to be coming, like I said, in the next update, you're going to actually have the option to just kind of tick this off. All other exchanges, though, are actually in the positive, but not anything too crazy. We see BitMEX, Binance, Huobi, all kind of around a little bit below 0.1, except for Binance, actually in Bybit, a little bit above there too. But across the board, we do see that this is still continuing with the downtrend over time as far as the funding rates goes, which is going to be indicative more of a long-term rally, which I do quite like, especially when Bitcoin's, pretty much right around its all-time high, as it's just was a day ago at $64,000, or actually $65,000. So with that in mind, I think it's time to get in the price action charts. But before that, I do want to bring up something really big right here. I'm going to give a shout out to Levitas. Levitas on Twitter, really good for options if you are interested in that, specifically with cryptocurrencies. And I want to point out something that's actually going to have a big impact, at least in the way that I look at things, for the next essentially month. This is going to be the 30th of April expiration. And what do we see right here? We do see that we have massive call bars, big blocks being bought at the 80,000 strike. And we do see on the put side, are people even buying puts? Actually, not really. Looks like the $52,000 strike's actually the biggest traded, but it's not anything too crazy. $62,000 strike is actually getting traded a little bit more, but more sellers on that side, which is rather interesting. If I had to call it right now, I imagine this is going to extremely likely imply that these $80,000 call buyers are not going to be coming out with fucking shit, at least on their options, as that's going to very likely be all premium. Just one little small tidbit that I can give out that just seems to work. I have a few explanations why, but I probably won't go through them in this video. It's just going to take too long. But at the end of the day, whenever you see something that's getting massively bought above any other strike, usually going to expire worthless, pretty much always. Oh, not always, but 80% of the time, maybe even more than that, it will expire worthless. So I'd be very comfortable saying that this month we extremely likely do not even see over $80,000. It's like extremely likely we do not even see. It's like, what? Is that not impressive already? Is it not already? Are you not entertained by this already? It's absolutely insane what we're seeing right now. So fair enough. I would feel quite comfortable though saying that $80,000, very unlikely that we do see that in April. That doesn't mean that I don't think that $80,000 gets seen at some point in time. In fact, I think quite likely, in fact, but could very likely take some time. It's very interesting yesterday. So yesterday I made a comment that I don't think that Bitcoin gets to like $250,000 this year, and then I got some very interesting comments right after that, which are really, really fun to read sometimes. When the mood is right, saying, Krown, get ready to eat your words. You're gonna hate that you ever said that. It's like, okay. Or if you feel so compelled, you can just take the trade and you can get rich as fuck, assuming that $250,000 gets hit by the end of this year, and then you don't have to give a fuck about what I say. There you go. And you know what, man? I'd be absolutely thrilled if Bitcoin hit $250,000 this year, no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, man, if I had to put my name under it, would I be looking for that? Would I be willing to call that like right here, right now, by the end of the year, $250,000? Fuck no, I wouldn't. But it's very interesting to see who gets pissed off by something like that. At the end of the day, man, you are more than welcome to trade in any way, shape, or form that you desire, that you deem fit. But for myself, while I do remain bullish right now, albeit this is slowly coming down to my levels right now, which is actually a little bit more holding of the breath inducing moment. But with that in mind, you know, I do still remain long-term bullish here. I don't really see any real reason to get bearish on this, at least as it is. Anyways, going back to the daily right on over here, what did we identify yesterday? It was, yes, that as long as Bitcoin does stay above its 13th of April low, I would be looking for this one to kind of just go trade a little bit of sideways in the short-term, medium-term timeframes, a little bit of sideways, and then very likely resolve itself to the upside. I still do like this chart on all higher-term timeframes, daily, 2-day, 3-day, all looking more or less fine to me. And I would be looking for this one to very likely give another try back up towards $65,000, probably even within the next few days here, as we did just get a new 3-day dildo on expanding volatility. And you can see that this is coming alongside of plenty of directional momentum indications that upside is still the more likely of the resolutions, or I mean, of the continuations here. I mean, we already have the resolution if you're looking at this as a pattern, of course. Now, the DMI Plus is dominant. ADX is strengthening. I do like that. We did see the ADX actually break this long-term downtrend right here of you know, more recently, so we do quite like that. It does likely align with something new going on right here, which you would expect as Bitcoin essentially does break the overall range. On top of that, we do see, is this 3-day? Yes, this is 3-day Stokes still up and at them. Yeah, they are looking like they want to cross down here. But I would keep in mind that we do have a nice little, well, I guess we do have a trend line coming in from way back there, but god damn it, maybe I just go to a fresh chart right here. There we go. We would have a trend line coming in right around the edge of the bullish control zone as well. So if it does want to turn down, I'll be looking for opportunities probably coming into next week, of course. Anyways, I do want to talk about what would happen if Bitcoin does take out the 13th of April low right here. I would still be looking for about a $1,500 move to the downside after that. So anywhere around the daily 20 simple right here, which would be $59,000 or so, give or take a few bucks. And with that in mind, the daily is showing a little bit of signs of exhaustion. We do see that the DMI signal is actually starting to get faded a bit. I wouldn't say that this is a death sentence in any way, shape, or form. In fact, if you are looking at this, it would imply that a move back down to the threshold would be first and foremost an opportunity. I mean, we do see that it did essentially break this trend line long term. That's coming in from our highs in January, of course, and that would actually be coming in right around the edge of the threshold right here too. So overall, you know, I do look at Bitcoin first and foremost as still likely to continue onwards and upwards. I actually do think that this is probably an opportunity right here, but again, that comes with a major caveat for the short-term time frames. If we take out 13th of April low, I would be looking for about a $1,500 move to the downside. 1,500, not 15,000, that is, somewhere down around about $59,000. Very likely a bounce there, and then judge if this wants to have continuation or not. I would not feel comfortable calling any more downside than that just yet, unless we start like closing daily dildos below there, at which point I'd be looking for a move to wherever the bottom side troll underband is in this case, and that's going to be rapidly rising from about $55,000 right now. So you know, we do see a lot of things in place, but until that happens, I do more or less just look for Bitcoin to kind of continue the slow trudge to the upside here, actually being led at what seems like by Ethereum, which actually does look a little bit toppy, especially in the medium term time frames last I looked this morning, but it does deserve another look relatively soon here. So I want to check out what other momentum oscillators are looking like right now. Yeah, 2-day still kind of telling the story. I think we just got a new fresh tick on this one as well. Same thing with the DMI ADX. DMI is technically dominant right now. Stokes are nice and direct here too, and even the 2-day MACD could very easily cross the upside with any sort of a closure above 64,137. However, I guess that's a couple $1,000 away right now, or $3,000 away right now. But fair enough, as it stands right here, I still do like that, I still do like this, and I'd be looking for the next sort of major leg up, if you will, to be initiated with any sort of a closure above the 2-day topside Toronto band here, which is going to be closing actually, yes, it will be closing tonight. So any sort of a closure today above 63,200, I'm going to get bullish over the weekend to actually probably be looking for one of those gap ups. And Bitcoin probably takes a run towards those deeper $60,000 targets, of which I still do have those in mind. I still do look at this as very much relevant. Again, as long as 13th of April low is not taken out, that otherwise I would be looking for a pullback first. But as you can see right here, we do still have the measure move all the way up in line and confluent with the 3.618 Fibonacci extension, an extension that has been working pretty damn well for the last 3-4 months here. And that is right around 70,000 bucks, which on spot price action, there is going to be, I don't know, a slight, yeah, there's actually not a huge premium right now on futures versus spot. It's about 600 bucks, it looks like. So I'd put Bitcoin just a little bit below 70,000 bucks, of course. Anyways, as long as that condition is not met to the downside, I just generally look for Bitcoin to kind of trade a little bit sideways here and then give another try to the upside. Could we come up with the range on the short-term timeframes? I'm sure that we could, but would I trust it right now? Nah, I mean, we could still use this area right here, 62,000 bucks. I don't feel as compelled by it. Really, the big one's going to be about 61,000 bucks right here, to be fair. But specifically to the 4-hour, that is. But for right now, again, I do think that higher term time frame is kind of taken over, and that is really what is going to be most relevant to be watching right now. So if I am looking at the lower term time frames, yeah, I would have that area marked off, of course, but the daily level will actually get taken out, I think, before then, if that condition is even met to begin with. So fair enough. Anyways, moving back on to the 12-hour over here, just want to see what are we looking at. Can we get a move down to the 21? Yeah, definitely potential here. So if Bitcoin does want to have a short-term downside move, I mean, this would be the posturing to take it from, I suppose. But like I've been saying, I would be looking for bounces at about 59,000 bucks, like maybe a little bit above 59,000 bucks. Again, if and only if that condition is met. Until then, I actually still do like this as far as from a momentum oscillator perspective. I mean, I still do like the 2-day hidden bullish divergences leading into this breakout. Same thing with the 3-day as well, and of course the weekly getting that full-on confirmation from last week's closure leading into the end of this week. I do rather like this. Things are a little bit scary right there, a little bit shaky, but what I want to do now is I want to check out Ethereum, actually, because Ethereum has been one of the more impressive ones as of the last few days, especially. And what do we see? Ethereum finally hitting that $2,500 target that we've been having for so long. And what do you fucking know? Haven't playing out a little bit of a pullback from there, exactly as predicted. No, I can't even do it because it's so fucking egregious now. But how far does this pullback bring Mr. Ethereum? Well, I'd say short term, very likely back down to about 2350, 2370-ish region, anywhere around there, and I'd be looking for a short term bounce. But we do have a couple drives of bearish divergence there. How many drives do we actually have? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 in the making right here. So at the very least, I would be targeting about 2370-ish region. Can definitely wick below, but I would be looking for a base to probably be put in there. If I'm looking at the 12-hour right here, could we come down even lower than that? It's certainly possible. Yes, getting this baby back down to like 2300 would certainly not be out of the question. But ultimately, do I think that Ethereum has more to go to the upside? Yes, I do. There's nothing bearish about this weekly right here. In fact, I would still be looking at my almost $3,000 target, still very likely to get hit, in fact. So short term, yep, pullback, sideways and down here, but sideways and down in a controlled manner is more or less good. Fuck it, I did it again. But you know what? My good friend Faraz, he has actually enlightened me as to a trick I can employ here. Oh my God, it worked, man. Oh my fucking God, Faraz, you are a goddamn genius. Or I'm just a boomer with the internet. It's like a new trick. Hold the shift key and you don't have to worry about your vertical grid, huh? Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, we hit the cheap spot extension right around 2,500. Nice. Next big one's going to be about 28, anywhere between about 2,800, which is kind of like your classic level, and then 3,000 for wicks. But I would be looking for local highs around there again as well, and probably more or less of the same. I don't like I said, I don't necessarily get bearish on this just yet. There's nothing bearish about this chart really at all. And in fact, if we go over here to our trending charts, actually, should I check on Bitcoin right here? There's not. There's like barely even anything to look at with Bitcoin right here. By the way, it should actually be denoted that Bitcoin topside trailing band on the weekly is 70,000 bucks. Just saying. Anyways, going over here to Ethereum, let's see where we're kind of looking at right now. Yeah, we are testing around the topside trailing band. Okay, so of course we still have a couple days left until the actual weekly closure, but any sort of a weekly closure above the topside trailing band, and I'd be very comfortable saying that this is going to, you know, make a leg up towards around that $3,000 target, probably within the next couple of weeks if that does happen, and you know, potential for more over time, absolutely. But there's going to be ebbs and flows in the short-term timeframes and the medium-term timeframes here, and right now I think that we're seeing the first kind of portion of this. So all good in the hood as far as I'm concerned on this one, but I would keep in mind that we do have a nice supporting trend line coming in from our last couple 4-hour lows in early April. And that'd be coming in right at the edge of the bullish control zone as well. So I do quite like that. Anyways, okay, this video is already way fucking longer than I should have ever made it. I guess I'm not going to do traditional markets today. Let's go look at Coinbase. How about that? Coinbase 322. So what did we say yesterday? Very likely does come back down and either retest the lows or make new lows. And what do we have? We have new lows here. Very nice. Or actually, no, we don't. We technically don't have like fully new lows. We pretty much retested the lows, 317 versus 310. Okay. Fair enough. This thing will bounce, you know, to and fro, I imagine. But again, you know, do I really trust technical analysis on something like this? No, not really. But we do have a nice downtrend going on the 5 minutes, so you know that it's wrecked for forever. Now, like I've been saying, I do think that there will very likely be big opportunities in this one. Anywhere around, you know, 250 to 275, I think would be an obvious one. You know, especially in the medium term, you know, very, very likely big bounces there. Could it even be like a, you know, a generational bottom? Maybe, but I think way too early to tell, of course, when you only have 2 fucking days worth of price action. But yes, you know, at least for right now, I do think that this one still trades a little bit of sideways, probably does put into a bounce to open up today. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one bounce back up towards like 330-ish region. But what I can say about this now, or at least as far as I can say right now, is I would be looking at this as a bit of a high structure. So that's about 338. Yeah, about 338 right there. As long as we're below there, or as long as Coinbase is below there, more importantly, I don't really look for this to even reverse the trend on the 5 minute, for example. But if it does, then we would technically have a higher low in comparison to our last low, and we would have a higher high, and we could start to look for moves back up towards 360 and beyond. It would look pretty damn good, but at least for the information that we do have. But at least for right now, I do kind of favor a short-term pop back up, probably to open up today, and then topple it back on over after that. All right, should we check out Link? I know that the Marines are out in full force recently. We can check that one out, and then we can check out Mr. Ripples, and then we will call it a day until the live stream. Weekly strong as fuck. This one's very likely to continue. I still stick with my $50 overall target. In fact, we almost even, wow, we got up to about 45, so that was an area of interest along the way to the upside as well. Very, very nice. Or sorry, 45, that is. Oh, those fucking fibs at it again. This one is kind of similar to Ethereum in the sense that playing out a little bit of a short-term pullback. I don't look at this one as likely to pull back as much as Ethereum, however. If this one came back down to like 39 bucks, I think that would be an obvious area. But even looking at the daily right here, I mean, this is, you know, there is nothing bearish about this. Problem is that the ranges are so big here that I'd really have to wait until this one takes out like 35.5 bucks to the downside before I actually get you know, a little bit concerned about this one. But long term, continuation to the upside, very, 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 very likely implied. I wouldn't be surprised to see 50 bucks maybe even next week, or maybe even over the weekend. This does kind of set up for a bit of a weekend pump in my opinion. But with that in mind, I do think that it would be a really good idea to just check in on some of the major indices for US markets. Oh, what do you fucking know? NASDAQ bullish as fuck. Still sticking with my $15,000 target overall. Do we have a short-term target right now? Actually, let me double check. Okay, this is looking really fucking good actually. Yeah, short-term target's gonna be 14,300. It's gonna be the next area of interest right there. What about SPY futures? Oh, bullish as fuck as well. Look, I'm going to be bullish on Bitcoin just looking at both those two things in conjunction with each other, especially NASDAQ right here. I mean, this one has literally made new all-time highs, as we did say was likely coming into this week. Hidden bullish divergence, the key on that one as TSI does turn up. It's going to have like a fresh turn up on new all-time highs, by the way. Like fucking hell, man. And of course, techs, financials, banks, you know, did have their earnings this week. Typically, you know, strong names will rally into their earnings. and techs are next week, and strong names will rally to their earnings as well. So I imagine, you know, most things are looking good across the board here. You know, if you're gonna be bullish on, you know, on one thing, you kind of got to be bullish on all of them for the most part. Obviously, there's going to be a few one-offs here and there, but for me, or at least for Bitcoin, I imagine that does bode well. You know, I might even go back on my word and actually take out this condition right here with taking out the 13th of April low, just because the problem with that is right now, or sorry, it's actually the 14th of April low. Why am I getting two different dates on this one? That is so bizarre. That is so very bizarre. You know, if I wanted to take this a little more conservative, which I do think it's important to kind of err on the side of conservativeness here, just because, you know, the whole fucking world's rallying right now. Okay. It's like err on the side of conservativeness. You know, I'd say you know, a daily closure below like 60,000 would be a little bit rattling, yes, especially for the short and medium term timeframes. But for right now, look, it's very difficult for me to be bearish when like everything in the fucking world right now is basically getting a free ride to the upside. Okay, do I want to look at anything else? Let's look at some caretaker ranges over here. What is he suggesting right now? He's actually looking at a $60,000 downside range versus a 65 and a third upside range for the 4 hour. It is a bit of a consolidation. Obviously, he's actually looking at this as a neutral zone consolidation. I'm curious what the daily says right now. Yeah, it's bull zone, strong rising trend. I like that. This is rather interesting right here. This is the first time that we've seen in a while that HVP is actually getting back above the moving average on this. So perhaps an early indication of continuation. But overall, you know, if I had to call things right now, I actually do think that Bitcoin probably put in the low right now. I mean, if it really starts to take out this area right here, yeah, we can, like I said, we can target move down to about 59,000 bucks. But I'm gonna go with the world markets right now. That's final answer, man. Final fucking answer. Yeah, looking at the 4 right here, sideways. Looking at the hourly, you know, is this a local low? I wouldn't say so just yet. Bear zone consolidation, but it is an hourly after all. Anyways, we'll go back to it over here, and I think we'll end things off right there. So I'll be back on later at around, I think it's like 8:30 or 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for you Americans out there, of which I guess I'm an American too, but I live over here in the Eastern European time zone in Finland. It's going to be around 1:30 or 2 p.m. BST for the UK British people out there too. Anyways, with that said, I want to wish you well again. Take care and see you soon.